back to Well and Worthy Life podcast. I'm super excited you guys are here again. And I have another wonderful guest on today, Ashley Landers. And Ashley reached out to me on Instagram after I did a post with my friend Ed Parks on brain health. And it was very interesting. She's like, I'm doing something that you might be interested in knowing more about that can actually help menopausal women. And you guys know I'm all about helping menopausal women, me, through this midlife journey. Okay. So I was like, yes, tell me more. So we met, and I cannot wait for you to meet Ashley and her to tell us more about what she does. But first, let me tell you. So her name of her company is called Birmingham Micro Current Neurofeedback. That is a mouthful. So she goes by BHM MCN. So Ashley, thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I have loved getting to meet you and know you.
Oh, it's been such a pleasure and so fun. And I really love that you have brought this information to me and now onto my followers and the people who listen to this podcast. Because I do think this is something, that most people don't know about. So tell us a little bit about your company, what you do, and then we'll go from there.
I think we should start where I learned about it. And that was when my son's counselor mentioned it at the end of the last school year, that it may help with his ADHD symptoms and a little anxiety. So I thought, I'll research it and give it a try. And
that was micro current neurofeedback, right? That's what she told you.
Yes. And I had never heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I started researching it. And once I did all the research, I thought, well, yeah, this seems safe and it seems very effective, and it's helping a lot of people. So we gave it a shot. And after the first session, my son was already sleeping better. His flexible thinking skills, he's really a rigid thinker. He was just more go with the flow. And my husband and I looked at each other and we were like, whoa, this is really awesome. And then, so we did a few more sessions, and I started asking how did you get certified? This seems really amazing. Why aren't more people doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And so after learning that information and doing even more research and finding out that, it can help with reducing, slow the progression of Alzheimer's, and then help with opioid addicts. I mean, all kinds of different PTSD, trauma, veterans have approved this for the PTSD for our soldiers. So I wanted to get started. And basically what it does is it just nudges the central nervous system to lay down new neural pathways and create a healthier brainwave state. So that's what we're doing when we apply the electrodes. It gives your brain or your nervous system just a little bit of a nudge, because they can get out, the brainwaves can get out of whack through trauma, chronic stress, illness, many different things. And so once you get those healthier brainwave state, you're not seeing those symptoms come up.
Yeah. And I love this. And I love that you found this instead of medication for your son, because let's face it, we know ADHD, everybody wants to, at least when my kids were little, I remember people wanting to put children on Ritalin and things like that, and did, because that's all they knew to do. I mean, it goes back to this health that I talk about all the time, that, big pharma is out there, and it's always take a pill for everything. And when we start learning that there are other avenues, that maybe we don't have to take a pill, maybe, because who wants to take a pill long-term for this? And if it works, and it sounds like it did work with your son, I mean, you say it's a few sessions that you do, and then you don't have to do it anymore. Is that correct?
Yes. For the most part, you continue to see the good positive effects, and it will last a little bit longer each time. So then then it's an enduring treatment. You won't have to come back. And 10 sessions is usually once a week, is kind of the average of what people feel like is good for them. We stopped, I think, with Bo, my oldest son, at 7 sessions, and felt like there was really no reason for him to continue because he was able to endure the, the good sleep, the more flexible thinking, just not going off and being introverted, just being with the family, and little things weren't bothering him that usually could create a problem.
Oh, which I'm sure just changed the whole dynamic of your family.
It really, really did. So, I mean, I'm a true just believer and have been telling any of my friends that have children that struggle with ADHD, and adults. I'm also seeing adult clients that have struggled with this their whole life. And they're like, my life has changed. I'm in control of my life, and it's not in control of me anymore. So, I mean, I just can't tell you how grateful I am to be able to provide the service.
Oh, I mean, I think it's so interesting because when I did post about it on Instagram, I did hear somebody else had sent me a message saying that her son had had seizures. And so when he was growing up, can't remember what the seizures were from or anything, but maybe they couldn't find out what it was. I can't remember. But anyway, she said that she did this and it did work. She said, I will tell you what she said. She said, I think it worked or he outgrew them. But I'm going to believe that it worked and it wasn't an outgrowing thing, that this really kind of, as you've put it to me before, like we are out of balance. It's just like our hormone balance. And like if you balance all this back out in our brain, then we should be good, right? So then you saw that it was working for other things. I mean, you were taught, when you got certified, about all the things that could help with, and sleep was a big thing, right? And so, that's one of the things as menopausal women we struggle with. And I always tell my clients that sleep is the number one thing. I mean, honestly, if you don't, if you're looking to have a healthy life, you've got to be getting your sleep. And if you're not, you got to figure out how you can get your sleep. And that's really my number one priority for myself, is sleep. And I've worked really hard on it. And I've done some sessions with you, and I have seen an improvement. And I think it's a combination of what I have been doing over the last 10 years. But then again, honestly, it's really interesting to see how, because I measure it all on my Aura ring, the difference. And I know you shared with me a story of a client that you had that came to you really not sleeping at all. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, so she had really terrible insomnia. And she said, Ashley, I have not slept well in 30 years. So it was basically like she would cat nap for an hour or two, and her body would just give out. And then she came in, and after the first session, she said, I might have slept a little better. I can't tell. But after the third, we are now up to 7 hours a night. She is not taking any sleep aids. And she looks like a different person. I mean, she's like, I said, I am so excited this is working for you. And she said, you're excited. Like, I'm over the moon thrilled. She said, I haven't felt this good in forever. So I'm just floored by that result for her, that she's now gone from 2 to 3 to maybe 4 like sparse hours through the night to 7+ hours. And she's in her 60s and just looking great,
honestly, great. Just what you said too, though, that she looks totally different because she is getting that sleep. I mean, that's even more so. But I mean, honestly, I feel like that's like almost like one of those miracles, because I do know people who have really tried all the things and they still cannot sleep. So I'm wondering, what has this woman, or do you know, what has this woman done besides try this? Has she tried anything else?
She has. And actually, when she started coming to me, she was taking something for sleep. She had tried Ambien in the past. And she said she would wake up in the middle of the night and eat and not know it. The next morning, she would find peanut butter out on the counter.
And that's not unusual with the Ambien either.
Yeah. And I said, did you ever go anywhere? Because you hear about these people that, sleepwalk and stuff. And she said, well, not that I know of. I had no idea. So she stopped taking that. And then she told me she didn't know the name of it, but she said, I'm now taking this green pill. Well, she has stopped that after session 3. And now we're on our 8th session and she's sleeping. And I mean, we'll just continue
Wow.
until it, I mean, she's been doing amazing. I'm so happy for her success.
I mean, that right there, I'm like, if you're struggling with sleep, you need to go see Ashley. I mean, to me, I think that, like I said, sleep to me is the number one thing. And I know through perimenopause, menopause, or just life. I mean, I wish I would have found you when I was going through my divorce when I was 40. I could not sleep. My mind was going, and it was a trauma for me.
Absolutely.
And yeah. And so that's actually when I started taking Ambien, because I went to the doctor and guess what he prescribed? Ambien.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's very important to, maybe think outside the box, look outside, maybe there's a better way, a different way to do things. What other kind of people have you seen and seen results with this?
I have seen improved in migraines. That has been something. I've had 2 or 3 migraine clients that were going from 4 headaches a week to I haven't had a headache.
Wow.
So that's been really awesome. I do have one severely kind of depressed patient and she's doing much better now. I will say depression takes just a little bit longer, like a little more than anxiety and ADHD and sleep. Those are kind of the things that react a little bit more quickly with this. And you should notice like a positive change in 1 to 3 sessions for those things. But I do have a couple of depression patients that we've just had to change it up a little bit. It's a little more stubborn when your system is shut down like that. But it is, after you stick in there for 5 sessions or so, we are seeing some positive changes there too. But yes, PTSD, for sure. It's just when you get stuck in that fight or flight mode, this is just helping rebalance. And also the central nervous system is responsible for the gut too. So I always ask about gut issues because, that rebalances too. Same client that had the insomnia was only going once a week and now she's going every day. And I was like, those toxins have got to move out of your system. So that was another major win.
I mean, such a major win. I mean, I'm like, I need to get back in there. I know, more sessions because it does, and it's just like anything else, and I say this all the time to my clients, it is these small things. And when you go, it's just so you guys know, I have been a couple of times and it's so easy. It takes 5 minutes or less?
Yeah. I mean, really, sometimes prepping the sites takes more than actually when you're getting just those micro pulses of energy, so you're
and you can't feel, you cannot feel the pulses of energy. She puts these, I guess they're electrodes, is that right? Around
right here.
Yes. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see these. Yeah, super easy, right? And like you said, I'm in and out in 15, 20 minutes at the most. So it doesn't take time, but you have to make the time, which is not always easy. I know, I feel the same way sometimes. I'm like, oh, I've got so many things to do. But, we take care of everybody else and we have to take care of ourselves. And gosh, and this is a great, great tool. It's another tool to have in your toolbox as you're going through life. I love this. And aren't you working, you said opioid addiction, but even probably alcoholism, things like that too, right?
Yes. Alcoholism. I mean, they said even nicotine, they've seen great results. I don't have a patient yet that has come to me for those things, but addictions in general, yes, we can help get those brain waves in a more stable, so you're not having that craving.
Oh, I wonder about somebody who sugar cravings, if they have major sugar cravings.
That's something I'll have to look up. I haven't had like a really.
I mean, that would be, I mean, honestly, sugar cravings and opioids and all that kind of stuff kind of go hand in hand. It's that firing from our brain that
Right.
makes us crave it so much.
Yes.
So I would think that that could help anyway.
Yes, I would too. Yeah, because you're
so-
just rebalancing and
Mhm.
rebooting your system, really.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I think this is a super exciting thing to think about. So let's tell everybody. So like if they're not in Birmingham, how are they going to find somebody that does this?
You can go to the website. It's iasismcn.com, and you can plug in your zip code and it'll pull up your closest provider.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if they want to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you?
So you can go to my website. It's birminghammcn.com, and you can ask for a consult if you just want to talk about it. I offer free consults anytime. And then or you could also request an appointment if you're ready to just jump right in.
Mhm. And I know people are going to ask, is it expensive?
Well, that's relative. You're not.
I agree totally. It's all relative. Like if you'll go spend $5 on a coffee, come on, people.
Yeah. Well, I will say we offer competitive prices. It's probably 125 to 150 per session in our area.
Mhm.
And I'm just starting out, so I'm offering $100 a session.
Okay.
Until probably through the fall, until I get kind of established and see more patients. And I feel like, it's all word of mouth right now. And so I'm really excited to just help people, and I'll work with any budget. I won't turn anyone away.
Oh, I love that. I think that's really great because, I mean, I think there are a lot of people that definitely need help with different things. And so I'm really excited about this because I think that this is another way that you don't have to use medication and that can actually work. And I think to me, the biggest story is the woman who wasn't sleeping and now she sleeps because she's just added years to her life.
Yeah.
And you said her appearance is totally different. And I totally believe that because you take anybody who is sleep deprived, they'll have memory issues, their skin won't look good, probably be a little bit more overweight than somebody who is sleeping good because your cortisol is so elevated. So it adds to that belly fat. I mean, just so many things that I love that. But any kind of trauma, any kind of fight or flight. So anyway, I'm excited to get back in there and see you again soon.
No, I can't wait to see you.
Okay. And Ashley, before we go, make sure you tell everybody where they can find you on Instagram too.
Okay. Our page is called BHMMCN on Instagram. And we're right in Highland Park, my office. So if you're familiar with the Birmingham area, it's pretty convenient to, downtown and over the mountain and Homewood and all that.
Is there anything that I've missed that we need to tell everybody?
Gosh, I don't think so, but thank you so much for spending this time and getting the word out there about our treatment. I'm so excited.
Well, I am excited too, because and that's one of the things I'm so glad that you did reach out to me on Instagram, because I do believe that we need to be more aware of all these different ideas. And like I said, I had no idea. And I bet I have a lot of listeners that they have no idea either. So I'm really excited to see and hear from you guys. And hey guys, if you haven't heard of this before, be sure and either message me through Instagram or email me, Deanna@wellandworthylife.com, because I'd love to hear, maybe there's people who knew about this and it's just very new to me. Very new to you too, Ashley, right?
Right. Yeah. I didn't know about it not too long ago. So.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. So we cannot keep the secret anymore. It's Micro Current Neurofeedback, balancing your brain, and great for brain health, sleep, trauma, PMS, not PMS, probably for PMS too.
I actually have a PMDD patient, and she's like, I'm feeling great. I can never go back there. So
Wow.
yeah,
Isn't that
yeah,
great? That's
it
great.
is. It
So
is.
awesome. Well, Ashley, thank you again for joining me today.
Thank you, Deanna. Have a great day.